First thing you want to do is log in, because you have to log in to access the resources that you need that are member only. So you log in, and what you do is you'll start typing your name or you start typing your email address, and this will be the one that you registered with when you filled out your application. If you're not sure what email address you use, you can always talk to your vice president of membership, your vice president of education, your president, and find out what email address is recorded for you. I'm going to do the when things go wrong portion of this first, since I opened up this browser, which does, I specifically chose a browser that doesn't have my password saved in it, so I can duplicate what happens if you have problems. So if you forgot your password, it's not letting you in, click on this forgot password button down here, that link. It'll ask you to re-enter your email address. And you click the submit button. What that will do is that will send an email to the email address that you've sent here. And in that email, you'll have a link that will allow you to click on it, and it will get you into the Toastmasters website. That link will last for 1 day. It records it in your cookies, so you can continue to use it for 1 day. And you can reset your password from that link once you get in. I'm going to go to the Toastmasters site that knows me and log in. And my password manager is very friendly here. Once you're logged in, this is what it looks like. The first thing I want to do is show you is kind of a little hidden area that's in here. And that is your profile. So if you go up here where your name is, it'll say welcome, and then your name will be right here. If you click on that, it shows you a whole bunch of information about yourself. Like over here, if you ever have to find out your member number for filling out forms or something like that, this is where you find it, in your profile. Your member number is right here. It tells you when you joined Toastmasters, the address that you have recorded, your email, your phone number, what clubs you belong to. And what's really cool is it will show you what education awards you've won and when. You can see way back to when I was doing Competent Legal, the old manuals from Pathways. You can see what club offices you've held. It shows you all of the club offices that you've held. It even shows you if you've gone beyond the club level, it'll show you what offices you've held. And there are a few more things underneath profile that you can look at. If you buy something from Toastmasters that's a digital download, if you click in My Downloads, it will allow you to pull it down again so you don't have to pay for it twice. This is where it stores what you've bought as digital downloads off Toastmasters. It will show you how many people you've sponsored in Toastmasters. You know, on that application, when you filled it out, it said who sponsored you, who recommended you or whatever. When they put that information in, it'll show up on your profile of who you've sponsored. It'll show you how many clubs you belong to, and when you join those clubs. And here is an important one. If you look at My Privacy and Consents, if you remember when you first became a member, it asked you, do you want to receive emails from Toastmasters? Do you want to get mail from Toastmasters? Do you want phone calls? Do you want, this privacy policy is where you change those settings. So if you opted out of email and you find out that you're missing some of the informational emails from Toastmasters International, this is where you go to change it. The landing page of Toastmasters is that very first homepage. And you can get back there all the time by clicking on Toastmasters International up here in the top corner. So on the landing page, there's a couple of things that are kind of neat. One of them is the Toastmasters magazine. So if you missed an issue of Toastmasters, you want to see an issue that's back a few months, you even want to search for an article. Let's say you're preparing a speech and you're like, yeah, I remember reading something in Toastmasters magazine and it was this one article. So you can filter on articles and look through all of the articles that were posted in a magazine. So you can look through the archives. I didn't actually go in and look to see how far back they went, but when I popped this up, there were a lot of pages of entry. So I imagine they go back several years. Another thing on your landing page is your pathways. Go to Basecamp, that's how you access pathways. And we'll do a separate session on pathways. I just wanted to show you when you click on pathways, you click on your club name, you click on go to Basecamp, and that shows you, and I really like the way they've revamped this page. That gives you your transcripts, what you've done, how to get any speech evaluation. So if you're an evaluator and you're evaluating someone and they haven't provided you with the form, under speech evaluations is every single evaluation form that exists in Toastmasters. So you can go in there and download any evaluation for anybody else's speech. And there are a lot of tutorials and resources that are out here for you, how to use Basecamp, how to use Pathways, how to watch the videos. There's a multitude of resources out here.
So Beck, do you have another separate account for this at all, right? For Pathways?
No, it is not a separate account. By logging into Toastmasters International and going to the Pathways button on the homepage, and there's 100 different places in Toastmasters International website that link to this Pathways landing page.
Okay. So Barbara, I think I gave you that info during our meeting, during our mentoring session. So it's just the one-time login.
Yeah, you don't log into Pathways separately.
Okay, thank you.
One thing that you might want to think about is that Pathways is dependent on you being current on your dues. So if your dues aren't paid by the due date, which is October 1st, you lose access to Pathways. You don't lose any of your progress. If you bring your dues back up to current, it will let you right back in where you were. But if your dues are not current, you don't get into this area. But My Documents is kind of a cool thing that they have on the Pathways website. And in here, you will find folders for all of the levels in your path. So let's say you're planning a speech in your level 1. So in your level 1, you can go into that folder. You can upload your planning document. You can upload a PowerPoint or a presentation that you wanted to use for that. You keep your evaluations in here. All of the recordings and documentation that you need for all of the stuff from level 1, you can save here. You don't have to, but you can save it here so that you have everything in one place. So the document storing area of Pathways is kind of a cool way to organize your stuff. Now, I did the when things go wrong part first because I logged into the wrong browser, but I showed you how to log in if you forgot your password. If you can't remember your password, like I said, find out from an officer what email you used to register. Put that email in, click on Forgot Password. It will send you an email with a temporary link that lasts for 1 day. You can use it multiple times during that same day to log in and reset your password. Do you have any questions on Toastmasters International? There are a couple of really cool things out there on Toastmasters International, resources that I wanted to point out to you. The first one is a little booklet called The Toastmaster Wears Many Hats. What that is a description of what to do and what a meeting role consists of. So you read this and it shows you when you're the speaker, what you need to do before the meeting, what you need to do during the meeting and after the meeting, And it goes through all of the roles that you can do when you're in a club meeting: the timer, the grammarian, the table topics master, the table topics speaker. So if you're not sure what is involved in filling a role in a Toastmasters meeting, this booklet, A Toastmaster Wears Many Hats, is a great way to read up on that and become familiar with it. The second link is the Pathways path descriptions. I know a lot of folks are working on their first path. They've gone through the selector and they have paths recommended to you. But if you're in it for the long run and you plan on being a distinguished Toastmaster, in order to be a distinguished Toastmaster, you have to complete 2 paths. So the link that I gave you takes this to the paths and projects area in Toastmasters International. And by clicking on each of these boxes that represents a path, you can go in and see what is the lessons that you're going to be learning, what the point of the path is, what the focus of the path is. The mandatory projects are the ones listed here on top, but if you go under elective, then it tells you also what you have to complete for this particular one, 2 of the following. It shows you all of the projects that you have the option to complete. So if you are thinking about, or you're getting close to completing your 5th level in your first path, come out here and check out your pathways, all the different pathways, and see if there's something there that piques your interest. And I showed you the Toastmasters magazine. I get ahead of myself. The Toastmasters magazine link. You can go in there and read 100 things. So if you have thrown away your Toastmasters magazines and you want to go back and check some stuff out, that's where you would go to find it. Any questions about Toastmasters International? I will say this, it sometimes is a little difficult to find things on the Toastmasters International website, but I've also lost like a full day going down the rabbit hole of reading all of the information that's on there. There is a wealth of information on the Toastmasters website. There are things out there that you wouldn't even think about asking, and you just come across a little blurb on the Toastmasters International website and you just follow it along. So I've lost days looking at all of the information that's on Toastmasters International. So if you're looking for something in particular, ask me. I may have come across it at some point. If I haven't, I can reach out to my division director and the folks at the district and see if they know how to get to it. There's just a myriad of stuff out there.